everyone, and welcome back to Movin' Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. It's the podcast where we watch The Great Muppet Caper 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I'm your host, Anthony Strand.
And I'm your other host, Ryan Rowe.
And joining us today, we are thrilled to welcome a first-time guest. Tell the folks who you are, guest.
I'm Kevin T. Porter, and I'm an unofficial Muppet enthusiast and stan.
I like the idea that there's such a thing as an official Muppet enthusiast.
Well, I mean, you guys are kind of positioning yourselves as official Muppet enthusiasts, so I wouldn't want to encroach on y'all's territory in that sense. I'm just an amateur over here.
Well, fair enough. But, you know, it's the Muppets, man. We're all family.
Yeah, everyone who's enthusiastic is an enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
And we are so excited to have Kevin here to talk about minutes 65 and 66 of The Great Muppet Caper. In these minutes, Piggy walks away from Nicky Holiday, and Kermit and Fozzie see a fashion show. So we start here with the very ending of the scene with Miss Piggy and Nicky Holiday. Nicky finishes his passionate plea to Piggy with a warning that I can't be responsible for what might happen.
Uh-oh.
Ominous.
He's such a sleazeball, man. Like,
Grodin is a little grody. And that's
he's a little grody, yeah.
But here's something I hadn't really thought about before. If Piggy had returned his advances, do you think Nicky would have called off the plan to frame her for the robbery?
Now, it's these sort of what-ifs we could spend hours upon, gentlemen.
And we do.
And we will.
Maybe he would have just looked for another plan or another way to get away with this. If Piggy had been like, okay, sure, I'll go on a date with you.
I wonder if he wouldn't have, because Kermit just walked right up to them. Right before, I wonder if he wouldn't have switched the plan over to Kermit. Make that guy, whoever that guy is, the patsy.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense. Although
I do like the idea of Kermit becoming a model in this fashion show.
Yeah, I'm down for it. I feel like we don't sexualize Kermit enough. Obviously, we've had our fair share of celebrating Miss Piggy's sexuality, but Kermit, I don't know if he's gotten a fair shake in the Meme-averse and whatnot.
Sure, he's just sipping tea and being sarcastic. Right?
Well, recently there was a picture. I think it was either on the Muppets official Twitter or the Kermit the Frog official Twitter, and it was just like Kermit in a fashionable outfit. I think a photo shoot from the '90s, and it got so many replies that were like, Kermit's looking so hot, Kermit's on fire, I never thought I would be thirsty for Kermit. So there is that audience out there for sexy Kermit.
Oh yeah, in that suit. Yeah, that was a nice wholesome meme.
Yeah, it happened a couple weeks ago, I think.
And do you guys remember the Amphibia cologne from the 90s?
Oh yeah, that ad?
No.
The ad for Amphibia is super sexy. It's like Kermit laying on a beach with a six-pack, and he has a little towel over his crotch. I'm not kidding. This is a real licensed. Did you look it up?
This is wonderful.
Yeah, it's wild. I remember seeing that in Disney Adventures magazine, by the way, in 1995 or whatever.
The abs are the weirdest part of that, I think.
Why does he have abs?
Yeah.
Why did he grow abs?
I don't want any of my Muppets to be jacked in any way.
So it's just as well that Piggy rejected Nicky here.
Or else that's where we would have ended up.
Exactly.
The Amphibia ad. So then the next thing that happens is that Piggy says, well, c'est la vie, which is French, of course, translates literally to that's life. But this is one of the few times we've ever heard Piggy speak French, and it's not a joke, right? Usually she slightly misuses it, or the joke is that she doesn't actually understand French or something.
Most of the time it's just moi and vous.
Yeah, are we going to have the cultural appropriation conversation about Miss Piggy's relationship to the French language now or later? When is that happen?
Let's do it now. Let's go for it. Let's throw down.
Or can we cancel Miss Piggy over her, sort of tokenism of French culture? Are any of the Muppets cancelable? Because I have a theory that one of them is, which we'll get into later on in this episode.
And it's someone who appears in this movie. It's not Pepe the King Prawn, who should have been canceled 20 years ago.
Pepe. Maybe it could be a mass cancellation, but I was thinking more Gonzo.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna
we are gonna get into that later in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, we've talked about this before, but Animal has some behaviors that are cancelable for sure.
Sure, addictive even.
Yeah. So, but I do think that Piggy just kind of casually speaking French here is another sign that this movie has a more like down to earth Piggy. Like, she's just a person. She's like, I think like there are so many things that we talk about, like Piggy being sexy, Piggy casually speaking French here, her actual love for Kermit. All of those things are kind of like the butt of jokes on The Muppet Show. And here they're just part of her actual very appealing personality.
Yeah, and see, I think I respond to this character best when they don't. I think there is like a correct term for this in like pop culture discourse, but maybe it's like a Homerize Miss Piggy, but like essential. No, this
Flanderized is what
Flanderized is the idea, where it's not just like the most eccentric things about her, the only things about her, because Miss Piggy may be like one of my top 10 characters of any medium ever. I love her so much. And this movie represents my favorite kind of version of who Miss Piggy is, which is like all the things are true, but it is grounded in a real, actual, honest vulnerability that doesn't feel so basely male-centric, which is something I was really struck by watching the Muppet movie that Siegel did, back in 2011 or whenever that was that came out, is that they seem to Flanderize her a little bit more, make her more irrational, unreasonable. And this, in Muppet Caper and in these minutes that we're talking about, it feels like you get a much more humane version of who she is. And throughout the movie, I feel like she's just like a more easily, emotionally accessible, relatable woman.
Yeah, I think that's right. And we've talked about that over and over again in this, like you say, if Piggy's one of your favorite characters, there's never been a better version of her than the one in this movie. She's just delightful.
Yeah. And she can still be like later in the movie, she can still be an action hero when she needs to be, but it's not the version of her that's just getting mad and karate chopping people every 5 minutes.
Right.
Right. That's another thing is I don't think. Well, no, I know she doesn't karate chop anyone in this movie.
I guess she doesn't karate chop Nicky at the end. I guess not.
Maybe she does.
I don't know. We'll get there.
Well, I guess we'll see. We'll find out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so speaking of Piggy being appealing, Marla, one of the models, slides up to Nicky and says, "I don't know why you love her like you do," and Nicky responds, "I don't know why. I just do." Now, when I was a kid, I thought that was just funny because it rhymes and like they're saying the same thing.
Right.
But this is actually a reference to a song called I Don't Know Why, I Just Do, which has been recorded by Frank Sinatra and Kate Smith and the Andrews sisters and a ton of other people.
And Russ Columbo, Dean Martin.
Right. But and actually, speaking of Dean Martin, if you Google that song, the first YouTube link is Dean Martin's version. And I would highly recommend watching the video because it is a slideshow that inexplicably features Seth and Summer from The OC, Katherine Heigl and Gerard Butler in The Ugly Truth, and a Rubik's Cube with a picture of Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson in Twilight.
It's because all of those people, they don't know why they love each other, but they do.
That's the thing. It's very on point.
Yeah.
Someone put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah, but this is one of those references that gets lost to history where sometimes we worry like there's a modern pop culture reference and a new Muppet thing. And it's kind of like, I don't know. Well, people in 20 years really understand this reference, but you don't have to understand every reference. Sometimes like this, you just kind of hear them and absorb them and move past them. Yeah. Well, and I think it really, like we talked earlier about how the models don't really get that much to do, but I think Erica Creer is really great there. Like she just like she has these huge eyes. They look almost Muppety as she delivers this dumb setup for like a dumb joke in this stage whisper, you know? And then while Nicky delivers the punchline, she starts inspecting her nails because she's already bored. I think she's really good here. And we haven't really seen her do anything yet. Yeah. So it's a nice surprise that one of them gets to be funny. She was the one of the three models with the most acting experience outside this movie, right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So maybe that's why they gave her the the scene with the most heavy lifting. Yeah, I think that's right. And speaking of which, though, right after this, she tells Nicky that the cops are starting to ask questions. And that's the first we've heard of that, right? Yeah. We don't know, which I guess is efficient screenwriting on one hand, but it also seems like something that's going to come up again and then never does. We never see the cops asking anybody questions.
Right. Or until they're arrested, we never see the cops.
Yeah.
I just assumed there was no police in the Muppet universe.
Yeah, except for Fozzie was bear on patrol in the Muppet Show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I guess
Yeah,
in the Muppet movie universe, so yeah, I just don't remember. I
Well,
mean, and maybe that's an interesting territory for them to explore. Whatever the next one is like police brutality from like a Muppet perspective. I think that'd be a nice thing for them to tackle.
Yeah, I think that would go really well.
It would be an interesting challenge. Like, where's the threshold between where slapstick Muppet comedy turns from comedy to actually feeling really sorry for a Muppet getting beaten up?
Well, I think they did.
I always get sorry. I'm always sorry for a Muppet getting beaten up. Even when they like toss them from the bus in the beginning of the movie, I was like, oh.
Yeah, well, and this this movie too, like they're out in the real world, so some of that stuff feels a lot more real, you know?
I guess so.
If Gonzo falls from the rafters in the Muppet Theater or whatever, who cares? But if Gonzo is going to get run over by a taxi cab and mangled to death, that feels more real.
Huh.
It's a different proposition altogether.
Yeah. And so then Nicky tells the models to do their job when he gives the signal. And then this is my favorite Charles Grodin moment in these minutes that we saw today. He looks to the heavens and says, "Forgive me, Miss Piggy." And then he does this like sorrowful little squeak. He just goes,
He's so conflicted.
Is y'all's primary like Grodin entry point Beethoven, like most people around our age?
Yeah, for me it sure was.
Well, I had seen this before I saw Beethoven, but I guess it was just these two things for me for a really long time.
Yeah.
But you were also a little older when Beethoven came out, right? You were 11 or something, 1991.
Well, yeah. I mean, I definitely saw Beethoven in the theater.
Sure.
Yeah, I was already familiar with him in this one.
Right. Although, speaking of Beethoven, I don't think we've ever talked on the show about the fact that Charles Grodin is 26 years older than Bonnie Hunt, who plays his wife in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He was 57 and she was 31 when that movie came out.
Yeah, but Bonnie Hunt's one of those where it's like she's been 39 for 30 years, you know?
Right. Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I don't know that Grodin reads like he's 57 in that movie.
No, not really.
So.
Yeah. I mean, you say it and it sounds surprising. It's not like, oh, yeah, I can see it now. It's like, what? Oh, gross, you know?
Yeah.
But anyways, he's great here. Bonnie Hunt would be great with Muppets. She's probably been on Sesame Street, right?
I don't know. Muppets appeared on her short-lived daytime talk show, but I can't think of any other time she's worked with them.
Oh, that makes sense.
Huh.
So next Muppet thing, Bonnie Hunt, call her up.
I mean, the world's been waiting. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So then we shift to Kermit and Fozzie in the crowd at the fashion show, where Fozzie asks, "Am I dressed right for this?" You guys, he's just wearing a necktie.
He's wearing what he always wears.
Like, he doesn't even have his hat on.
Gosh, I found the jokes in this movie to be so funny altogether. Like the running bit of them being twins or thinking that Kermit's a bear on the bench. Like you forget how solidly built and constructed these movies are, but they're so good with just like and good jokes will buy you so much goodwill, which like these movies are basically just little like sardine cans of joke dispensing machinery.
Yeah,
it's pretty wonderful to behold.
Yeah. I wonder if this is sort of acknowledging the fact that Fozzie is still naked like he always is, while Kermit is wearing this fancy suit. You think
Fozzie feels self-conscious about that?
Yeah, like he looked over and noticed that, oh, wait a minute, Kermit's wearing clothes. Should I be wearing clothes?
Yeah, I mean, that's possible. I don't know that they make clothes in Fozzie's. I mean, we've seen him in clothes before, I guess.
Occasionally.
He's such an oddly shaped puppet, you know?
He is. He's very baggy.
Yeah. It's like seeing Cookie Monster in clothes or something. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So anyways, then we hear Lady Holiday, who is positively dripping with class and glamour, and she starts announcing the fashion show and says, "And now, without further ado, roses, hyacinths, lilacs, and bluebells make up our first fashion bouquet."
Mm-hmm.
I love the way she says everything in this.
Diana Rigg is so good in this scene. Like, there's no reason why just these shots of the fashion show needed to be entertaining, because it's all just setting up what's about to happen. But yeah, Diana Rigg really sells it.
Yeah. She did not need to be as invested in this scene, especially, which, like you say, like it's whatever. And she is devouring these lines.
Yes.
She is feasting on them.
It's her inflections, her facial expressions. It's all great.
It's so great. Did either of you have any particular favorite lines from her here? I mean, I just said my one.
No, pretty much everything she does, she makes not a snack out of it, but a meal out of it. And man, we stand a queen. It took me a second to realize it was Lady Olenna from Game of Thrones, obviously.
Oh, sure. Yeah. See, whereas like when I mean, I haven't seen much of Game of Thrones, but like when I heard she was on it, it was just like, yes, Diana Rigg is back. Riggaissance. It's going to happen, you know.
I like that Carla is capricious Carla and then Darla is delicious Darla. I guess she didn't get far enough to giving Marla an alliterative name, did she?
Right.
So I
she could have been malicious Marla.
Well, that's the one that fits, but yeah, I don't see.
Well, you guys, I mean, it could also be marvelous Marla. Like, it's probably
the marvelous Mrs. Marla.
Marvelous Mrs. Marla. There you go.
Marvelicious Marla. I assume you're about to bring up the next joke that happens.
I was going to talk about Gonzo being a creep.
Oh
next.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Kevin, you brought this up earlier. Do you want to talk about Gonzo's creepy behavior here?
I mean, we all saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood this summer, and it feels like Gonzo is carrying on the legacy of a Tarantino in this sense of just taking pictures of women's feet and knees at every turn, unfortunately. So, I forgot how much of a freak he was until watching this again.
Well, and he does it a couple of like when we first see the models in the elevator, Gonzo's like hubba and takes a picture of them.
But this moment is so weird, and I don't even I don't know. Would in 1981 would this have played as a joke that a woman crosses her legs behind Gonzo and Gonzo immediately whips her out to take a picture? Like,
I don't know.
It doesn't even. What's the joke? Gonzo is horny? Yeah,
I mean, yes, the joke is Gonzo is horny. But here's the thing. Would it be funnier if there was inexplicably a chicken in the crowd? And that's who Gonzo took a picture of.
Yes, that would be funnier. I guess it would even be funnier if it was some kind of Muppet creature crossing her legs. I don't know.
Sure, yeah. Although we don't really see them out in the wild outside of the Happiness Hotel.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. We don't encounter Muppets. I guess Piggy is the only one who doesn't stay there.
Yeah, but we also don't see this woman's face, so maybe she has like a chicken head, or
yes, Ryan. Maybe she has a chicken head.
Maybe she does. I'm going to Photoshop that later.
Hey, yeah, no, I'm open to the possibility. We'll never know. It's another what if.
Sure. But then they double down on the creepiness because we cut to Statler and Waldorf, who talk about how pretty nice lines. Yeah, and the clothes aren't bad either. Like,
yeah, they're super horny for sure.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, definitely a product of the time.
Yeah, but like I feel like Gonzo should be better than two horny old men, you know, and he's not. He's the same.
Oh, he's absolutely not.
Statler and Waldorf's lines at least feel like an actual joke, although I wouldn't necessarily expect Statler to know enough fashion terminology to say pretty nice lines.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? You don't know what Statler does when he's at home.
I guess not. Anything he can to avoid hanging out with his wife, Astoria. Wait, no, that's Waldorf.
Astoria's Waldorf's wife, man.
Oops.
Yeah, it was still good. It was still good. Don't be ashamed of that one.
Sorry, Astoria.
Oh man. All right, but you know who's not a creep? You know who is better than Statler and Waldorf?
Tell us.
Fozzie and Kermit.
Yay!
Because they just talk about the clothes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're focusing on what matters here.
Yeah, Fozzie says, pretty good looking duds. And then Kermit says his best line in this entire movie, which is, yeah, well, I found the white pleated collar alluring, but I was rather taken aback by the flutter of godets.
Yeah, that was astute of him.
It was, that's true.
Now, are you familiar with this word godets from anywhere else other than this movie?
I'm certainly not.
No, I mean, I had to look it up today to find out what it even means. I've always laughed. I think the line is hilarious, but.
Right, exactly. And I had to try 3 or 4 different ways of spelling it before I actually was able to successfully look it up. So
Yeah.
it's from the French, and a godet is an inset of cloth placed in a seam to give fullness, as at the bottom of a skirt.
And Kermit loves them. He's taken them.
Well, he's taken it back.
He's shocked. He's just like, but no, I think the straightforward way that Jim Henson delivers that line is what makes it so good.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, and of course, then Fozzie just goes, huh.
Yeah. There are a few moments in Muppet history where Kermit has that kind of sort of deadpan delivery, and it's hilarious every time.
Yeah. Well, and I also like the idea that, like, his girlfriend works for a fashion designer, so he's been taking time to study up, learn the terms, you know.
He bought Fashion for Dummies.
Yeah. That seems like Kermit, right? He's a good boyfriend.
Sure.
Yeah, he would be invested. He would want to care. He would do the work, and he would try to be specific. He's a good man.
Yeah, sure is. He sure is. And then we close here. We end these minutes with Lady Holiday getting the last words, which is that she says another extremely flowery, fancy Nancy type of line, and it ends with forming a teeny weeny hat, which is so good. It's so good. And she was talking about her eating the scenery, or devouring the lines. I mean, that one. Oh man, Diana Rigg looks so happy to be saying that.
Yes, she's so delighted by it. I mean, you would be proud too if you designed this clothing yourself and now you get to reveal it to the world.
I sure would.
Including the teeny weeny hat.
Yeah, so if I had a part where I had that line, I would want them to play that when I died, like in memoriam. The teeny weeny hat line. That would rock.
Sure, yeah. So that brings us down to the end of these minutes. Anything else you wanted to talk about here before we close? Kevin, I'll start with you.
No, I think we covered it thoroughly. We looked at it from every angle possible. We broke down the performances, best lines, best looks. I'm really proud of the job we did here today, friends.
All right. Ryan, anything to add?
I have 3 brief items from the July 22nd, 1980 draft of the screenplay. One of them is a great example of how just cutting a few lines can really just help the movie move along better. Because in the draft, after Marla says they have to go with their plan to frame Miss Piggy because the cops are starting to ask questions, after that, Carla says, and Lady Holiday is getting suspicious, and then Darla says, and those twins are always nosing around. And then Marla says, and that thing is always taking pictures. Which, it's not really funny, and it would just kind of make the scene drag on. So, good idea to cut those lines.
Right.
And then...
Yeah, that was unnecessary.
Yeah. And then in the draft, before Lady Holiday starts announcing the models, Nicky goes on stage to introduce Lady Holiday. There's one funny bit where he tells everyone his name, and he waits for applause, but nobody applauds. But otherwise, that was unnecessary because it's better to just jump in with Lady Holiday announcing the clothing. And then in the draft, after Carla walks the runway and Fozzie says, good looking duds, Kermit's line is, well, I like the flocked silk waistlet, but the trompe de l'oeil, I don't know how to pronounce this word, but the trompe de l'oeil trim is a little jarring. Which is somehow not as funny as the flutter of godets.
Yeah, although, again, maybe...
They punched that.
Yeah. Again, though, I don't know if the flutter of godets line is that funny on paper either, you know? Like, it's just... It's so... Oh, man, Jim Henson was good at his job.
Yeah. Very good.
Also, I think flocked silk waistlet is a little hard to say.
Yeah.
You want to just get the comedy out as quickly as possible.
Right. Yeah, I wonder if that isn't what happened.
Yeah.
Like, Jim tried it, and they were like, we got to change it.
Right. So, yeah.
Anyways, that brings us down to the end of these minutes. So, Kevin, we like to ask our guests, what's your history with this movie? Do you remember the first time you saw it?
Oh, yeah. So, I saw it when I was a kid, like a long, long time ago. Rented it on DVD, probably when I was like 12 or 13. Hadn't seen it since then. And as far as like where I would rank it amongst the other Muppet movies, I weirdly have a real soft spot for the 2011 Muppet movie, but I really appreciate this one. This might be my favorite of this era, so I'm going to put it at number 2.
Yeah, after the 2011?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I don't think that that's weird. Like, a lot of people really love that movie, you know? Like,
I think people tend to sort of, like, depending on when I guess depending on which ones they encountered in childhood, those tend to be the ones they rank highest. So that is an interesting ranking to have a newer one at number 1 and an older one at number 2. But yeah, I can respect that.
Yeah, well, I guess I just had like a lot of nostalgia for the moment when I saw the 2011 one. I just have such a great memory of like the time I was at, in life and the friends I saw it with. So yeah, I have no choice but to stand.
Yeah, that's nice.
Sure. Awesome. Well, maybe you can come back on in 5 years or whenever we get to that one.
Oh yeah, maybe so. That'd be great.
All right. So that brings us down to the end for today. Listeners, please check out toughpigs.com on the internet, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you can find us. Our theme music is by Stacy Rosen. Our logo is by Morgan Davey. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Morgan. You can follow me on Twitter at Zeppo Marxist. You can follow Ryan at me, Ryan Rowe. And Kevin, where can our listeners find you online?
Oh, you can find me at Kevin Teaport everywhere and listen to the podcast Good Christian Fun. Or if you get podcasts, sometimes we talk about Muppet stuff, weirdly. So there's some overlap of interest here.
Yeah, well, and I mean, like we talked about off mic, Ryan and I are both huge fans of that podcast. So
yes.
Oh, thank you very much, guys. I
highly recommend it.
Yeah. All right. So with that, we are done. And listeners, if you're so inclined, give us a positive review wherever you review your podcast, and tell all your friends to listen to the show. And join us again next week for another episode of Moving Right Along. Goodbye.
Bye.
A teeny weeny hat.